Hey there, train fans. Welcome to the channel. This is Chris from Other Side of the Tracks. Thank you for being here. One thing I have never ever done on the channel before is to show one of my dad's trains. And last night, on January 25th at age 71, my dad passed away. And for me, it's the second time that he passed away because originally, 3.5 years ago, he had a botched heart operation where they burned a hole in his esophagus, allowed air to get into his lungs, went up to the brain, and well, ever since then he was unfortunately brain dead, laying around. And well, I wasn't able to do much about it, and but now we finally got to the point where he's gone, 100%. So it's a sad day, but I'm also relieved because I know he wouldn't want to be just laying there for a long time in that kind of condition, and he's not suffering anymore. But just to commemorate him and do something different, I wanted to bring out one of my dad's. So of course, I've mentioned before that my dad got me into trains when he was a little boy in 1953. At about age 1, his dad bought for him a whole bunch of neat Lionel trains. And when I was growing up, he had them stored in boxes, would never take them out. I would bug him for years. Take him out, take him out, take him out. And he always didn't want to do it. It would just bring back some difficult memories of his childhood. And eventually, my nagging overcame that and brought him out. And he got back into trains. And we would run trains together and eventually joined the San Diego Mall Three Railers, the various layouts they had at the time in the 90s. And I always have very fond memories of running trains with my dad. So it was in part those memories of hanging out with him that made me want to share this hobby with others and as well as with my daughter and getting some training, all that. So, well, without further ado, let's check out see what we got behind here. This has not run at least since probably 1995, 96 at the latest. So it's been nearly 30 years in the box in storage. So I have no idea what's going to happen, but let's take a look at one of my dad's trains. Okay, well, this box definitely looks like it's 71 years old. It's a little greasy. I like the old made in US of America. And now that I'm looking at it more closely, it seems to be dated July 1954. So I think maybe he had a mix of different trains from 53, 54. But I guess we'll see when eventually I drag them all out of the closet, the box I have them stored in. So this box obviously looks to be 70 years old. Literally 70 years old in 6 months from now. You see right here, number 736. So that's this side, I think. Got a steam engine in there. Tight fit in this box. Don't rip off any of these little components. All right. We got the 736 steam engine. Got a little bit of corrosion here and there. Probably being in the basement in Pennsylvania for 5 years didn't help. Oh yeah, got a little bit of rust here on the wheel. The rollers here. Yeah, it's old, been stored for a long time, so let me try to oil this bad boy up a little bit. Maybe get a tetanus shot. And do I dare put on the tracks and give it power and see what happens? Maybe get the fire extinguisher. All right, we can see here we have a 284 wheel configuration, which means this is a classic Berkshire. which Lionel has produced for many, many years. And you may have seen these in some recent catalogs. So I geared up all the points where the rods turn and the wheels here. I'm not sure about this back set of drive wheels, if it's locked up or it's just the traction here. So this one's kind of iffy. So again, I don't know if this is going to work, turn on or not. But we can see here we have some silver or white lettered here on the cab. The window. There's some little vent slots on top here that are molded into the die-cast metal. And this thing is die-cast, so it's nice and heavy. You have some nice add-ons like this bell here. We have our multicolored lanterns here in the front. You have the headlight here on the boiler. Some handrails. Yes, these are little flag poles. You can stick in flags or whatnot. And interesting feature of this engine, it has smoke if you put in one of the old pellets on this thing. And the tender does a whistling sound. I believe I have the tender, but well, I'm not going to dig through everything to find it at this point. So I just want to grab just one thing here, see if it does something. Check it out, just in memory of Dad. Well, I heard some gears trying to engage in there. Definitely see the light still works on the headlamp. All right. Well, I guess our fire up wasn't quite successful of this old 1950s post-war number 736 Berkshire Lionel Classic engine. But I know there's life in it. I can hear that motor whirring. So it just could be some internal rust somewhere inside that's preventing something from moving. I don't know. Hey, if you're a post-war expert, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What tips do you have? Does it need restoration? Is it a total loss? Is it worth it? Right now I have it on static display here next to the train station. Much like we did back in La Mesa, California, where my dad grew up at the old La Mesa station. They have the old, I think it's a Santa Fe engine there on display. I'll have to look it up. Maybe I'll throw in a picture of what I'm talking about. But even here in San Antonio now, we have the engine down at the train station on permanent display. So I think this will be appropriate for the time being, just in honor of Dad. So definitely a classic Lionel engine, but we sure have come a long way since then in terms of, well, the details they put in the engines. But man, this thing is a big die-cast old brick and really nice that all built in USA by American workers. So these things were definitely built to last. So a little TLC, maybe one day we'll get this thing up and running fully. And maybe I'll even dig out that tender. Well, in the meantime, let's give a little pass by from some of our more contemporary engines.